What up? What up? What up? Ladies and gents, boys and girls, you are now tuned in to a live video or episode of Sportsway with Dre Day podcast. I'm your host with the most, the Hood's ESPN, Crystal Street's very own, Dre Day. What's up? What's up? What's up? Once again, thank y'all for y'all continued support of the podcast. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. If you haven't already, if you have not already, subscribe to the channel, Sportsway with Dre Day podcast. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so that way once a video is dropped, you will get a notification letting you know that your boy has released something new. As you come on in, share this, tell a friend to tell a friend, all that good stuff. I get that I was gone for a little bit. I think the last thing I did was when it was announced that Coach Pop was stepping down as the Spurs head coach. I think that was the last thing I did. And actually, at that time, I was on vacation from work. So I was taking a little break or whatnot. And I ain't going to hold you. I was also binge watching the TV show The Neighborhood. And I was binging that so much that I was like, you know what? I'm not even in the mood to record. So I'm going to just binge watch The Neighborhood and take it from there. And it was 7 seasons of The Neighborhood. And I binged the whole thing while I was on vacation from work. Shout out to Cedric the Entertainer. Shout out to Sheena Arnold. Shout out to the lady that played Gemma. I can't pronounce her name. I know she played on Two Broke Girls that used to be on CBS. Shout out to the man that played Dave Johnson. Shout out to the whole cast of The Neighborhood because it was a very, very good show. I recommend y'all check it out before the new and final season comes. I think sometime this year, I think the final season happens, but that's why I wasn't recording because I was too busy binging The Neighborhood. But since I'm off work today, I said, you know what? Let me come back and do a live. And it's so much to talk about. It's so much to talk about in the live that I said, you know what? I'm going to check it out. And I'm going to speak on a couple of things. So I hope y'all, tune in. Hope y'all enjoy it. And let's get to it. As y'all can see, I have my WNBA gear on. Now, for those of y'all that know me, for those of y'all that have known me for quite some time, y'all know how I give it up when it comes to the WNBA. Like, I'm always repping it for women's basketball, whether it's college basketball or women's basketball. And the WNBA season starts tomorrow. It starts tomorrow, and obviously, you can tell that I am very much excited for this upcoming season. A lot of changes, a lot of players that were with their franchises for a long period of time has now branched off to go to other places. Kelsey Plum is now playing for the Sparks. Brittany Griner is now playing for the Atlanta Dream. Who else, man? I'm trying to think off the top of my head, man. Satu Sabali is now playing for the Phoenix Mercury. Alyssa Thomas is now playing for the Phoenix Mercury. Joe Lloyd is now playing for the Las Vegas Aces. So many moves have been made this past offseason. And then you factor in Paige Buckets making her debut this weekend in the WNBA. Again, the WNBA season starts this weekend, and what a way to start it. Let's just go through the schedule right now. Like, cause I'm very much excited. I know the WNBA season starts tomorrow, but for the most part, everybody is tuned in. Everybody is glamored up for Saturday. Tomorrow, the Atlanta Dream play the Washington Mystics. I was kind of looking forward to that game, but unfortunately, the rookie sensation from Kentucky, Georgia Amore, she tore her ACL during training camp, so she's basically done for the season. I'm looking forward to seeing Atlanta Dream. Shout out to Tashina Pow, who made the final cut. She made the team, which I was shocked that she did, because usually when you are a second or third round pick going into the WNBA draft, you don't make the team. Like, when it gets time to those final cuts before regular season, you probably don't make the team. So I was surprised that she did, and I'm glad she did. So I'm very interested to see how she coexists with Brittany Grinder. I'm eager to see how she coexists with Ryan Howard, Elisa Gray. I'm very much intrigued to see how that Atlanta Dream plays out this season. Do I think they're going to make the playoffs? Probably not, but I'm still intrigued to see how they're going to play this season. The other game, this is probably going to be the game of tomorrow night, and that is the Minnesota Lynx and the Dallas Wings. Paige Buckets makes her debut tomorrow night in the WNBA. And that Dallas Wings team is not a sleeper. It's a sleeper. You got Paige, you got Enrique, you got De'Aaron, you got Carrington that used to play for the Connecticut Sun. She was also on the move. Naisa Smith, who's her boo, is also on that team. So Dallas is gonna be a formidable opponent this upcoming season. So I can't wait to see that game. And then again, you got the Lynx, who, for all purposes, is going to go into this season on a personal grudge. Because for those that watched the WNBA finals last year, you got some people out there that say that the Lynx got screwed, the refs cheated, all of that. Well, guess what? The Lynx have had months to soak everything in. They have months to get themselves ready, and I think they're going to take this season very, very personal. Like, when it gets time for those teams to do serious damage, I truly believe the Minnesota Lynx is going to be one of those teams. And I'm very much excited for this game. Very much excited for it. And then last but not least, for tomorrow, we got the Los Angeles Sparks against the new team, the new expansion team, the Golden State Vicaries. I think that's what their name is. Hopefully, I didn't muffle their name. Like I said, Kelsey Plum makes her debut with the Los Angeles Sparks, two-time champion with the Las Vegas Aces. She now stays on the West Coast, and now she's going to be playing for the Sparks. I'm not sure if Cameron Brink is going to be back. Remember, she tore her ACL last season. I'm not sure if she's going to be back just yet. You still got Hamby. You still got Rakia Jackson, who's coming off of her good rookie campaign last year. I mean, for all intended purposes, she was probably the third best rookie last season, aside from Caitlin Clark and obviously Angel Reese. So I am very much intrigued for these three games tomorrow. Again, that is the start of the WNBA season, starting tomorrow. But listen, Saturday. Man, oh man. Saturday. Now, unfortunately, it's my weekend to work. And I hate it, right? I hate that this is my weekend to work because I won't be able to enjoy the games at its entirety. I'll have to wait till I get home. But what a way to start the WNBA season this upcoming weekend, right? there's some goodies. In fact, it's only 3 games, but all 3 of them is goodies. You open up with the Aces and the defending champion, New York Liberty. Yes, the New York Liberty will raise their first banner in Barclays. They will raise their banner in Barclays. I'm not sure if they have in fact, no, they're going to raise up their first championship banner. I think they have Eastern Conference champion banners hung up in Barclays. But as far as champions, like WNBA champions, they'll be doing that this weekend. And it's against the Las Vegas Aces. And trust me, the Las Vegas Aces, when the schedules was announced and they found out that they was going to be playing the Liberty the day that they raised their banner, I'm quite sure they took that personal. Because remember, the 2 years prior, they were the world champions. So I'm quite sure that they're going to take that game very personal. Listen, I'm sure Barclays is going to be on fire this upcoming weekend. So, yes, I'm very much looking forward to that game. I'm very much looking forward to it. Unfortunately, the Liberty are going to go this season without Lainey Hamilton. She's out for the season with, I think, a meniscus tear, something like that. So I'm very much intrigued. Again, like I said, the Las Vegas Aces, they didn't lose anybody. I mean, yes, they lost Kelsey Plum, but they gained the Gold Mamba. They gained Joel Lloyd. So you add her to Asia Wilson, to Jackie Young, to Chelsea Gray, who's going to take this season very personal, because you had a lot of people out there that was saying that she was washed up last season and all this, that, and the third. She looks healthy. She's looked great in the offseason, in the preseason. She's going to take this season very personal. Very personal. I think the Aces is definitely going to be one of those teams at the end when it's all said and done. I honestly believe that. The Liberty, obviously, Stewie, Sabrina, they picked up Natasha Cloud in the offseason, which was a beautiful pickup. Beautiful pickup. I know a lot of people ain't really talking about that pickup, but she's one hell of a defender, one hell of a perimeter defender. She's one of them dogs. She's one of them dogs, respectfully. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what the Liberty do this season. Obviously, you got the Finals MVP and Jonquel Jones. So I'm very much interested in seeing what the Liberty do this season. For me, this is the main event game. The fever in the sky. Listen, let me tell you something. The WNBA knew what they was doing when they had this schedule lined up. They knew what they was doing. They said, okay, the season starts on Friday, but we're not going to do this game on Friday. We're going to do this on Saturday. We're going to do this on the weekend. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese to open up the WNBA weekend. And from the looks of it, the game is going to be on ABC, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus. So if that's the case, I might be able to watch the game while I'm at work. I might be able to watch it because I have Disney Plus and I have ESPN Plus. So I might be able to watch the game while I'm at work doing what I do. But listen, obviously, we know the rivalry from last season with these two young women. These two young women have been the prime focus as in why the WNBA has flourished last season. I know Caitlin Clark has a lot to do with it. Let's get that out the way. She has a lot to do with it. But that old Barbie in Chi-Town got a lot to do with it as well. Now, mind you, this game is going to be in the United Center. It's not going to be in the Wintrust Arena. It's going, oh no, not even part itself. It's in Indiana. Sorry about that. It's in Indiana. So, listen, it's going to be fun. And then again, you add all the pieces that Indiana just picked up. Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner. These are two players with championship pedigree. DeWanna Bonner won a couple with the Mercury. Natasha Howard, I think she won one with the Storm, if I'm not mistaken. I know she has a championship as well. So you have that championship pedigree alongside Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and then you add some pieces off the bench, Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Carlson. Now, that's going to be an underrated pickup. Now, I know she didn't do shit with the Aces, but they kept her around for a reason, right? And I think whatever that energy that she had with the Aces, she's going to bring that alongside to the Indiana Fever. So do not be surprised if the Indiana Fever do some serious damage come postseason time, because they're going to make the playoffs. Barring no serious injury, the Indiana Fever are going to make the playoffs. Now, as far as the Chicago Sky, I mean, obviously you got Angel Reese, you got Camila Cardoso, who is going to be healthy this season. She is going to be healthy this season. She wasn't all the way healthy last season. She will be healthy this season, right? You add in Haley Van Leaf, who came from LSU. I think the Chicago Sky can make some kind of noise. Some kind of noise. Because, again, the WNBA, they do 8 teams. The top 8 teams make the playoffs. Do I think Chicago can make one of those 8 spots? I believe they can. I believe they can. And then, again, we got 45 games this season. I think 45 or 44 games. I'm assuming 44 because for a lot of, for a lot of sport, for the professional sports, it's an even number that's for the games. So I'm assuming it's 44 games this season. Indiana and Chicago are going to play each other 5 times this season. So we get to see that rivalry 5 times this season. 5 times this season, we get to see Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. All right? Because, listen, that's the money right there. So I can only imagine how many people are going to be tuned in to watch that game. Because when they go up against each other, the ratings are through the roof. And I expect it to be the same way all 5 times Indiana and Chicago play each other this upcoming season. And then we have the Phoenix Mercury against the Seattle Storm. That's another goodie game. Again, like I said earlier, you got some new additions with the Mercury. Satu Sabali, Alyssa Thomas. You pair them up with Kalia Copper. So that's the new big 3 in Phoenix. And then obviously with the Storm, you got Nneka Onwuemeka, you got Skylar Diggins. I'm not saying Diggins Smith. Skylar Diggins. She's going back to Skylar Diggins, okay? Is she having some marital problems? I don't know. But she's going back to Skylar Diggins, which I'm quite sure there's a lot of guys out there that feel great about that. I'm very much interested to see what happens with Seattle. Unfortunately, the injury bug has kicked their ass. Like 3 players is not going to be playing this year. Nika Mule, who I kind of figured was probably going to be out this season. She had tore her ACL when she was playing overseas. So I kind of figured she probably was going to be sidelined this season anyway. Jordan Hurston, another ACL injury. Either ACL or Achilles. Regardless, she's out for the season. And then just recently, Katie Lou Samuelson. She's out for the season. So I don't know what they're doing in Seattle, but that injury bug is hitting Seattle, and it's hitting them badly. So those are the 3 games for Saturday. And then Sunday, you got the Mystic and the Sun, and then you got the Lynx and the Sparks. So this upcoming weekend is going to be good for WNBA basketball, right? But I can't just talk about the WNBA for these games without giving my early predictions. I got to give my early predictions, right? Who do I think is going to win MVP this year? Obviously, the safe answer would be Caitlin Clark, because don't get it twisted. If Indiana is in the top 3 this season, if they're in the top 3 of wins this season, you might as well give her the award, because they're going to give it to her. If Indiana is in the top 3 this season, when it comes to wins, when the regular season is over, Caitlin Clark is going to win MVP. She's going to win MVP. So you can mark that down. If Indiana Fever are in the top 3 of wins this season, Caitlin Clark will win MVP. She will win it. Best believe she will. Because she took a team that was the 7th seed last year, if I'm not mistaken. No, 6th seed, because they played Connecticut in the first round. You went from a 6th seed to a top 3. They will definitely give her the MVP award. They definitely will. They most certainly will. Who's my MVP this season? I would say my MVP would be I'm gonna go with my girl Nafisia. I'm gonna go with my girl Kalia from the Lynx. I'm gonna go with Nafisia. I'm gonna go with Nafisa Kalia. Cause listen, she was in the MVP conversation last year. She was in the conversation last year. And for me, there was a stint where she was the favorite. But then she got hurt, and then Asia Wilson just took over after that. So it wouldn't surprise me if Nafisa Kalia won MVP. It wouldn't surprise me at all. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Rookie of the Year, Paige. I think Paige Buckets is clearly going to win Rookie of the Year this year. Coach of the Year. I could probably say Stephanie White from Indiana. I could say probably she'll win Coach of the Year. Who do I think is going to win the whole thing? Or just my finals prediction? How about that? My finals prediction. My finals prediction is the Las Vegas Aces against the Minnesota Lynx or the New York Liberty. No. Yeah. That's my pick. However, let's just do the hypothetical. Let's say Indiana gets to the finals. The record for viewership is going to go through the roof if the Indiana Fever make the WNBA finals. Because look, all of these moves they made was to accommodate Caitlin Clark. And I will say this, though. The additions that Indiana made when they got introduced, Caitlin Clark was there to welcome all of them. So obviously she's showing her leadership role, even though it's something small for just, a team introduction, she was there for it. So that right there tells you the respect that she has for them. And then I'm quite sure this also shows the respect that they have for her now. So I can't wait, man. Listen, I can't wait for this WNBA season. It starts tomorrow. Listen, these games this weekend is going to be through the roof, and I can't wait. I am very much excited. Very much excited. So y'all know what I say when it comes to the WNBA. Give it up for the ladies. Give it up for the ladies. Give it up. Just give it up for them. Just give it up for them. Just give it up for them. Okay. Let's see. NBA playoff talk. NBA playoff talk. I'm not even going to go into the first round. I'm not even going to go into the first round of things. I'm going to just recap what's going on in the second round. And the Cavs got bumped, which I wasn't surprised with. Because, listen, I've been telling people all season that Cleveland is underrated. When they started the season off with that crazy winning streak, I still wasn't convinced. Still wasn't. They get to the playoffs. They play Miami. They get too big for their bridges. They sweep them. They think they all Mr. Get Bad. When they wound up playing Indiana and they lost those first two home games, I knew the series was over. I knew it was over. Because like I said all along that Cleveland was overrated. So you can jot them down as one of those teams that had 60-plus wins in the regular season, but once playoff time came, they choked. Like Reggie Miller with the Knicks, choked. And that's exactly what Cleveland did. That's exactly what they did. So Cleveland is out of there. Indiana is now waiting on the winner of the Knicks and Celtics. And I was at work yesterday, and I was telling people the Knicks got to close Boston out last night. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. First of all, for the Knicks to win the first two games in the Boston Garden, listen, I live in New York. The city was on fire when that shit happened. And again, I told people, I was on a podcast last Monday. Shout out to my man, the playmaker, Darnell. Shout out to my man, Snowman. Shout out to my man, Cole Johnson. I told them that the Knicks was going to win one of those games in Boston. Did I think they would win both? No, but I said they would get one, and they got one. They got to close this series out tomorrow. They got to close it out tomorrow. You do not, I repeat, Knicks, you do not want to go back to the Boston Garden tied at 3. You got to close them out. Now, did the Knicks have this I don't give a shit mentality for game 5? Did they have the mentality like, oh, well, we're going to just throw this game away. We coming back to the crib for game 6. We'll close it out here. Now, here's a gem for you. The Knicks haven't closed out a series in the Garden since 1999. Just think about that. Since 1999, I was in junior high school. I was in the 8th grade the last time the New York Knicks closed out a series in Madison Square Garden. That was the last time. And I believe that was against the Indiana Pacers in the conference finals. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Indiana Pacers that they beat in the conference finals in 99. And then they lost in the finals to the Spurs. So, yeah, that was the last time the Knicks closed out a series in front of their home crowd. The Knicks better win this game tomorrow. They better win this game tomorrow. Because if they somehow let Boston win this series, even after Jason Tatum got hurt in game 5, which, by the way, well wishes to him because, listen, once he hit the floor and they showed him on the floor and he was, holding that area that we all know is a serious injury, I already knew he was done. And I definitely want to give the Knicks their props because as he was getting helped off the court, the Knicks players was clapping. Like they was basically showing their respect for him. So salute to the Knicks for that. That was some commendable stuff that they did there. But again, the Knicks better close this out tomorrow. They better close this out tomorrow. If they let this series go back to Boston, man, I feel bad for Knicks fans. Now, I'm not a Knicks fan, but I am from New York. So I am rooting for them. I'm not with the whole, orange and blue skies, go New York. I'm not doing all that. But I am from New York, and I want to see them succeed, right? So let's get this conference finals with the Knicks and the Pacers. Let's take this shit back to the 90s, okay? Let's take it back, okay? Again, like I said, the last time the Knicks was in the conference finals, was in 2000. Who did they play? The team that's waiting for whoever wins this series, the Indiana Pacers. So, Knicks, close this series out tomorrow. Close it out. There's no excuse. You're at home. So there's no reason on why you cannot close this series out tomorrow night. Minnesota just took care of the Warriors. I mean, I'm not even going to hold you. When Steph got hurt in game 2, not even game 2, I think he got hurt in game 1, actually. He got hurt in game 1. The Warriors held on to win the game. When they said that he wasn't playing in game 2, I was like, yeah, this is probably it for Golden State. Because they said it was a hamstring injury, and they were saying that they wasn't going to rush him back. So he only played a half a game this series. And I ain't even going to hold you. Like, after he got hurt, I wasn't even interested in the series no more. Like, I'm not even going to hold you. Like, when he got hurt, I wasn't even interested anymore. Because something told me without Steph, the Warriors had no shot. And I was right. They lost in 5 games. It was basically easy work for the Timberwolves. So for the second straight year, the Minnesota Timberwolves are headed to the conference finals. So, I mean, I kind of want to call Ant-Man legend killer like Randy Orton, but I can't really do it because, remember, Steph didn't play. Steph only played 2 quarters, and that was it. So I can't really call him the legend killer because Steph didn't play. Because think about this. Last season, he took out Kevin Durant. He took out Nikola Jokic. This is what he did last year. This year, he takes out LeBron, Luka, and then he takes out Golden State. Even though Steph didn't play, he still took out Golden State. So, can you call Ant-Man the legend killer? I don't know. But they're in the wings, waiting to see who wins this series with the Nuggets and the Thunder. Now, me personally, I think this series is going to go 7 games. I think this series is going to go 7 games. And if it does, that doesn't do well for the Denver Nuggets because they was just in a 7-game series with the Clippers. So I don't think it'd be a good idea for them to take this 7 games, but they have no choice. They have no choice because the series is already 3-2. If Denver wins tonight, the series goes 7 games. If they don't win, then their season is over. So only time will tell. But the playoffs has been entertaining, to say the least. I think clearly the best series this round has been OKC in Denver and the Knicks in Boston. Those have been the 2 best series so far in the second round. So there you go. Now let's get to some NFL talk. The schedules were announced. The schedules were released. I'll say that the schedules were released yesterday. And listen, one of my predictions, and I called it, like as God is my witness, when the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. Obviously, if you follow the NFL, the champions always start their season on Thursday. They don't start it on Sunday. They started on Thursday. I knew once the Eagles won that Super Bowl, I said, I guarantee you that when they do their schedule, they're going to have the Philadelphia Eagles open the season against the Dallas Cowboys. And who are they playing? You guessed it, the Dallas Cowboys. They're starting this NFL season off with a bang. Division rivals, America's team against the defending champs to open the season. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But again, that just tells you how much I know my football, because I knew that they was going to have them open the season against the Dallas Cowboys. They wasn't going to have them play against a team in the AFC. They wasn't going to have them play the Commanders in an NFC title game rematch. They wasn't going to have them play Green Bay. No, they was going to have them play America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Dak is going to be back. Obviously, they got a new head coach that nobody really gives a damn about. The star on your helmet, all that good stuff, right? So we all kind of figured, well, I figured early that they was going to open the season against the Dallas Cowboys, and I was correct. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole schedule because, again, it's so many teams. So I'm not going to do all that. But I'm going to highlight, some key points. The Kansas City Chiefs have 7 primetime games this season. 7. Okay? They got 7 primetime games this season. The Dallas Cowboys got 6. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Buffalo Bills, the Washington Commanders, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Detroit Lions, the San Francisco 49ers, the Miami Dolphins, and the Atlanta Falcons, they have 5. Now, I don't know why the Falcons and Dolphins got any primetime games, but that's neither here nor there. The Eagles and Bills, Commanders, even the Lions to a degree, I kind of understand why they have 5 primetime games. But the Dolphins and Falcons, I don't know why they got any primetime games. I don't know why. The Ravens, the Broncos, the Packers, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Vikings, the Texans, Seahawks, Rams, and Bucks. All of those teams have 4 primetime games. And then the Patriots, the Raiders, the Bears, and the Giants, they have 3 primetime games this year. The Jets and the Cardinals have 2. And then the Jags, Colts, and Panthers have 1. I'm surprised the Titans don't have a primetime game. I thought they would at least get 1 just because of the number 1 pick in Cam Ward. So I'm surprised that they don't have I'm surprised that they don't have a primetime game. I'm surprised that they don't. But I'm very much excited for this NFL season. I am. I'm not even going to hold you. There's 7 international games. The Chargers and the Chiefs are going to be in Brazil September 5th. The Steelers and the Vikings are going to be in Dublin, Ireland, on September 28th. The Browns and the Vikings will be in London October 5th. The Jets and the Broncos are going to be in London October 12th. The Jags and the Rams, the Jags are always in London. October 19th. The Colts and the Falcons will be in Berlin November 9th. And then in Mildred and November 16th, it will be the Dolphins and the Washington Commanders. So those are all the international games that will take place this upcoming season. Yep. But I'm excited for this NFL season. I am. You know, with the draft that just took place, I think the Chiefs and the Cowboys play on Thanksgiving. Now that now that I think about it, that's gonna be some shit. That's gonna be some shit. Like the Lions and the Bears. I mean, the Packers and the Lions play on things. Obviously, the Lions play on Thanksgiving, so they bring that rivalry back with the Packers and the Lions. The Chiefs and the Cowboys play, and then the Ravens and the Bengals. So we got some star-studded games on Thanksgiving this year. Because obviously it's always 3 games. It's always 3 games. We got Christmas games. Remember, the NFL is now in the Christmas game business. They are competing with the NBA for having games on Christmas. And those games are the Broncos will play the Chiefs. And who's the other game? What's the other games? Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on now. Mm-hmm. 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 Hold on now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this NFL season is going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting, to say the least. I don't have an NFL team. I know, like a lot of people hit me up, but they be like on some, yo, Dre, what's your team? What's your team? I don't have a team. When my man Brady retired, I have no allegiance to a team. But I will say this though: as long as the Cowboys don't win, I win. So that's just the way that's the way I'm wired. As long as the Cowboys don't win, I win. So there you have it. And now, to wrap up this live, this weekend, y'all see the heading, Juan Soto makes his return to Yankee Stadium this weekend. Now, he gonna get chewed up. That's for sure. He's going to get chewed up when he comes to that bat and when he steps in that batter's box. In fact, the boos are gonna start while he's on the dugout, while he's on deck, getting ready to come to bat. The boos are gonna start right there, and they're going to intensify once his name gets announced and he's walking towards that batter box. Because I remember 11 years ago when Robinson Cano left us to go to the Mariners. I was there personally for the game. And the reason why I remember it so well was because the place that I stay at now was the same weekend that the Yankees played the Mariners. And when he was on that deck, waiting to bat, as soon as he was getting ready to walk to the batter's box, the boos started coming. And this was Robinson Cano, and this was when Robinson Cano was that nigga at the time. Like, again, this was somebody who I thought was going to be the future of the Yankees. That's the way it was supposed to be. Like, Jeter was supposed to pass the baton to him. But unfortunately, he wanted to be money hungry and wound up going to Seattle. And obviously, other shit happened after that we're not going to get into. Juan Soto was going to get booed out the stadium this weekend. Okay? There's going to be some F. Juan Soto chants. They're going to be booing him like crazy. They're going to call him a sellout. They're going to be calling him all of these things tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. As long as we get the win, that's all I'm concerned with. Do I think we're going to sweep the Mets? No, I don't, because the Mets are actually playing well this year. But then again, it's the opening, like the season just started. This is what happens with the Mets. They start the season off well, and then they start declining around June or whatever. But they're playing well right now. I'm not even going to hold you. But Juan Soto is going to get booed tomorrow. He's going to get booed this weekend. You can bet that. You know what I'm saying? Because even though he did great with us for that 1 year last season, he did great for us. He was in the MVP conversation. He definitely helped us out in the playoffs. Obviously, that home run against the Cleveland Guardians to basically clinch the series, clinch the pennant, to take us to the World Series. I get all of that. But for you to leave us over a measly $5 million, because that's what he left us for. Again, I did a video about this the day that it was the day he announced, well, the night he decided that he was going to the Mets. I did a video that same night and was like, yo, you left us for a measly $5 million. Like the Mets gave him 70-65. We was offering him 760. And you left us off a measly $5 million. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, if you would have left us because we didn't cough up an extra 10 or 15, then I get it. But you left over a measly $5 million, man? For real? But hey, it is what it is. But like I said, tomorrow, this weekend, this upcoming weekend, the Yankees fans, my fellow Yankee fans, are going to light him up like a Christmas tree. They're going to light him up every time he comes to that mound. They're going to light him up like a Christmas tree. And I'm quite sure he knows that. Now, do I think there's going to be some cheers here and there? Just a tad bit. Just a tad. Like you'll hear it a tad bit. But for the most part, it's going to be some boos up in there. It's going to be a lot of boos. Not even some. It's going to be a lot of boos. So it's going down this weekend. It's very much going down this weekend. But I don't want to stay on here that long. I just want to show my face and do this live. Because again, last week, I was on vacation from work, even though I didn't go away. I had a staycation, but I had myself a damn good time on that staycation. I don't really do staycations like that. And when I do, I just lay low. But for this staycation, I did a lot of great things. A lot of great things. It was wonderful. It was very, very wonderful to say the least. And again, like I said, I binged the TV show The Neighborhood, and I just wasn't in the mood to pod. Like there was times I was just looking at the laptop like, do I want to get on? Do I want to get on? All right, I'll get on. Then I'll change my mind at the last minute. But since this is my day off from work, I said, you know what? There's so much stuff going on right now. Why not just put everything into one episode? So that's what I did. I gave y'all the WNBA talk. I gave y'all the NBA talk. I gave y'all the NFL talk. And now I just gave you a little bit of baseball talk with Juan Soto making his return back to Yankee Stadium this upcoming weekend. But I will say this about the NFL. I'm quite sure Pittsburgh got something cooking. I do not believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to go into this season with Mason Rudolph. So something tells me they're just not going to talk about it. But something tells me that they know that Aaron Rodgers is coming to them. Because now that I think about it, because I don't think I ever spoke about I don't think I ever spoke about the draft, so I'm going to do it now before I leave. Obviously, the highlight of what happened at the draft was Shedeur Sanders. For him to be a 5th-round pick, like this was the shit that happened with Bronny James. You had 2 players that weren't even first-round players get basically all this notoriety come draft night. Do I think Shedeur Sanders should have went in the first round? Absolutely. Yes, I do. There's no way you're going to tell me that he's the 2nd best quarterback in the draft, but he goes all the way in the 5th round. That doesn't sit well with me. But from an NFL perspective, this was more so about Deion than it was Shedeur. Because Deion went on shows and basically said they had a list of teams that his son would not play for. So you had these owners say, oh, yeah, that's how you feel? Well, guess what? We're going to show you. We're going to show you that you don't run things. We do. And that's kind of what happened. Now, was there teams that needed quarterbacks? Absolutely. The Giants needed one. They drafted one, but it wasn't Shedeur. The Steelers needed one. They didn't draft Shedeur. Cleveland needed one. They could have got him before they drafted Dylan Gabriel. But again, like I said, they was trying to send a message to the Sanders. They was trying to send a message to the Sanders family that y'all don't run this. And they picked them up in the 5th round. Hell, even the Raiders, they needed a quarterback. But the reason why I say the Steelers is because the Steelers very much needed a quarterback. Like if it was any team in the NFL that needed a quarterback and needed one in the worst way, it was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Blue collar franchise, 6-time champs, the whole black and yellow, the terrible flags, all that stuff, right? When you think of the Pittsburgh Steelers, you think of them being in contention to make the postseason. You cannot tell me that with Mason Rudolph as your quarterback, you think you're going to the playoffs, because no, you're not. So out of all of those teams, for them to not draft Shedeur, something told me that they must know Aaron Rodgers is coming to them, and they just can't say it. Not yet, at least. Because obviously Aaron Rodgers is not with the Jets no more. And Aaron Rodgers still has a desire to play. And one of the teams that they said that he was eyeing was the Vikings and Pittsburgh. I don't know what happened with the Vikings, but that fell far from the wayside, and then it just came Pittsburgh. But nobody's really talking about that anymore. But something tells me that he's going to Pittsburgh. They just can't announce it. Because I'm going to say it again. You didn't draft Shedeur when you needed a quarterback. And then you also got Mason Rudolph. You cannot – listen, I'm not a Steelers fan. But I know a few that are. And I'm quite sure they can agree with me with this. There's no way in hell that they want to go into this season with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback. He done been with them for so long and ain't done nothing with them. They done seen this movie already with him. So they need to go out there and get them a quarterback. And that was the perfect time to get Shedeur. But since they didn't, something tells me that Aaron Rodgers is going there. Something tells me that he's going there. Something tells me that Aaron Rodgers is going to Pittsburgh. They just ain't say it yet. But that's all I basically want to talk about with the NFL. So I basically wrapped up this live. So for everybody that's tuned in, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Share the video, tell a friend, all that good stuff. Again, if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, okay? Hit that notification bell so that way once your boy drops a video, you will get notified letting you know that I dropped a new video. share the video, like the video, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And closing, y'all know how this goes. This has been another episode or video of Sports Way with Dre Day podcast. Again, thank y'all for y'all continued support. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. I am almost at 500 subscribers. I am almost at 500. I don't know the exact number, but I know I'm in the 450s. I'm in the close to 460 mark. So if I can somehow get the 500 before this month is over, your boy would gladly appreciate it. But again, in closing, thank y'all for y'all continued support. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. Catch y'all on the flip side. God bless. Peace and love. Your boy is out of here. Peace.